Hey everyone, it's just Spira. Thanks for tuning in to watch another video of mine. I'm starting with a degular old twist out. I don't even know how long it's been here. Could have been a week or two, but as you can see, it had to go. So I'm basically going to show you all how I went from this to this. And if you're interested in how I did that, just stay tuned. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, I've been wearing this twist out for some time now, and I'm not really starting off with freshly washed hair, but I'm beginning this process by cleaning up this part so that I know which direction I want the flat twists to fall in. And from there, I'm splitting my hair up into 3 different sections so that it's a little bit easier to detangle and twist my hair. I don't really have anything getting in the way and all that great stuff. I'ma need a 4-page letter to apologize, but you saw me as a bad boy trying to play better. So much on my plate. So last April, I got a wannabe tapered cut, and it basically left the back of my hair shorter than the rest, especially now as it's starting to grow back. And because of that, I didn't include the bottom piece here in the sections with the rest of my hair. And when I'm done sectioning off my hair, I'm going to go ahead and grab my water bottle that has coconut oil and black castor oil, and I'm just going to spray it all over that open section and distribute it with my hands. And then from there, I'll start finger detangling just so that when I'm detangling with a comb, it's a little bit easier. And because a lot of the twists are still very well put together, so detangling with my fingers makes it a lot easier, and it doesn't hurt as much as if I were to detangle with a comb right away. When I'm done with that, I go and I grab Lester's Pink shea butter and coconut oil hair milk, and I rub that all over the wet section so that I can go ahead and detangle it with my wide tooth comb. I gotta keep my head up and just focus on the good. I personally feel as though wide tooth combs can only do so much detangling, so from there I grab my, I don't know what kind of brush this is. I know it's not a paddle brush, I know it's not a Denman brush. It's like somewhere in between, but I go ahead and I grab that to detangle my hair even more than what my wide tooth comb was able to do. So from there I go ahead and I grab my oil mix to seal in all this added moisture. Really the whole key to making sure that this style is as good as possible is to make sure that it's detangled, very detangled, before you start twisting or flat twisting. So I go ahead and I grab my rat tail comb, and because this back section, like I said, is shorter than the rest, I'm not going through the hassle of flat twisting that because I know it's just going to unravel. So I just 2-strand twist that whole back section. I'm also not too concerned with making sure that my parts are clean, because the cleaner your parts are, the harder it is to hide them when it comes time to fluff. So yeah, I'm not really too worried about that. So I go ahead and I repeat this whole process for the rest of my hair. The only difference that I do with the other sections is that instead of 2-strand twisting like I did the back, I'm now flat twisting. Flat twisting, to me, I feel as though it takes less time, and as you're flat twisting, you're grabbing hair. So basically, you don't need to separate as much for the takedown process because your hair is already separated, so this means less frizz. Now I'm just doing one final take to make sure that I'm going to be flat twisting in the direction that I want it to, and from there I continue to flat twist the front of my hair. In total, I would probably say that this took about an hour to detangle and flat twist my whole head. It probably wouldn't have taken as much time if I wasn't listening to music, but it's whatever. So from here, I'm going to grab my perm rods and start rolling my hair about halfway up, basically. Perm rods come in different sizes and colors. Usually, if they are a different color, they're also a different size. I'm only going to be using 2 different types of perm rods. So in the front, you'll see that I have pink ones, and eventually you'll see that the back has gray. The only difference between the two is that the gray is a little bit wider in diameter, so the curls won't be as tight as the front pink ones, but they'll still be tight coils depending on how I roll them. And as you can see, I'm not rolling the hair on top of each other. As I'm moving the hair up the rod, I'm placing the hair right next to each other. So the hair isn't being overlapped on one another, it's really being placed only on the rod and not on another strand of hair. Alright, so now that I'm done putting the rollers in, I was just checking to see that everything looked right, and as I was feeling through, I realized that I wasn't done, so I had to add one more roller in. From there, I grabbed my Jane Carter Shine On Curl Elixir, and I just made like a top coat for the hair that wasn't in the rollers, and I just applied a really light layer. I got this from one of my curl kits, and I really wanted to try. It says that it controls frizz, nourishes, and smooths curls, so I really wanted to test it out and see how that did on my hair. And I grabbed my handy dandy scarf to wrap around my hair as I'm about to go to sleep. I had to take a little bit more time in tying it just because I had rollers in and I didn't want any of my hair to be left out. So it took a little bit of time for me to get it wrapped on my head in a comfortable way. So it's not too tight, but it's tight enough to keep the rollers in place. And I'm finally done with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. I actually left the rollers in for a day because I wasn't really doing anything where I needed to take my hair out. But after a day of just having the rollers in, I began to do the takedown process. Now, as a reminder, this is my first time using perm rods in my hair. So when I took them out and I saw what I saw in the mirror, I had no idea where this was going. I had no idea how I was going to style it afterwards. I was just, taking it one roller at a time and hoping that things would work in my favor. When unraveling the flat twists, I would try my best to not to over separate. With flat twists, they already come in their own sections because you're grabbing hair as you go, and that creates its own separation, so you don't really need to do much. But I was still trying to be careful that I didn't over fluff my hair as well. So with the comb, I would just lift the roots up, but I wouldn't bring the comb all the way through because I still wanted the curls to be there. And if I lifted the comb all the way through, it just would have messed up all the curls. Because my hair is growing at different rates around my head, I did have to take a bobby pin and pin that side down so that it looked like it was around the same length as everything else. In the end, I didn't really like the way that I styled my hair in this video, so I did take some of the pins out. The Shine On Curl Elixir definitely left my hair super shiny and my hair was very soft. However, I can admit that my hair was super bouncy, and in the end, I am satisfied with the overall results. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell next to it so that you don't miss any of my other videos. Bye!